Hello and welcome to the news on NTA International. I am Olajide Bello. First, the headlines. ECOWAS countries have concluded their submissions to their principles ahead of the WHO expected to adopt protocols hindering the progress of the African Continental Free Trade Agreement in the sub-region. Joy Misoma's father tenders unreserved apology to JAMB and Nigerians over his daughter's falsification of JAMB results. European Union announces direct budget support of 66 billion euros to Niger Republic, expresses determination to increase total value of the support. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has departed Abuja for Guinea-Bissau to attend the 63rd Ordinary Session of the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of States and Government. The summit, which takes place on Sunday, July 9th, is expected to address memoranda on pressing sub-regional issues, including report of the 50th Ordinary Session of the Mediation and Security Council, covering security challenges faced by the member countries. Other items slated for discussion include memoranda on the ECOWAS Single Currency Program and the report on obstacle to free movement of goods on the Abuja-Lagos corridor. President Tinubu is accompanied by some members of the Presidential Policy Advisory Council and other top government officials. The committee of inquiry set up by the Anambra State government to investigate the controversy surrounding the UTM result of Ms. Ejikeme Joy Misoma has submitted its report. A statement by the Anambra State Commissioner for Information, Paul Nwosu, indicates that the committee, after interactions with Ejikeme Joy Misoma, JAMB and other stakeholders, found out that the result being paraded by Ejikeme Joy Misoma with aggregate score of 362 is fake. The statement said that Ejikeme Joy Misoma admitted that she manipulated the result herself using her phone. Still on that, Joy Misoma's father, Mr. Ramonis Ejikeme, has tendered and reserved apology to JAMB and Nigerians over the falsification of result by her daughter. Mr. Ejikeme, in an interview with NTA News, said his daughter lied to him about the result, which has generated reactions across Nigeria.
Yeah, my daughter didn't open up to me on time. She didn't. When I realized the mistake she did, I blame my daughter. I was supposed not to do this kind of. Because every day I will tell you, Miss Oma, be careful, know that you are a star, so that you don't dent your image. But I'm still apologizing to JAMB and Nigerians to pardon her, to give her pardon. As a father, that's my take.
A sequel to reports by a committee of inquiry set up by Anambra State government has demanded by some Nigerians to look into the Misoma saga. The report has vindicated the board. In a statement signed by the board's head of public affairs and protocol, Dr. Fabian Benjamin, says the incident has further reinforced the position of the board that its system was not and cannot be compromised, adding that the board has built a reputation in terms of conduct of credible examinations over the years. It cannot afford to fail the nation at this critical juncture of its development. The board further appealed to well-meaning Nigerians who may wish to support and encourage healthy competition by awarding scholarship and other honors to deserving candidates, not to be discouraged, but always verify from the board any claim, no matter how nauseous, put forward by candidates. The board also set the age of the candidate right as available data gives her age as 19 against 16 years old. JAMB commends the Anambra State government for its patriotism and unbiased posture through the national challenging period and congratulates Ms. Ome Kashimojoku Nyekere as the best scorer in the 2023 UTM exercise. Now, ECOWAS countries have concluded their submissions to the principles ahead of the 63 heads of state and government summit, who are expected to adopt protocols hindering the progress of the Continental Free Trade Agreement in the sub-region. Several issues were raised that formed part of the resolutions of ECOWAS member states at closing of the 9th Ministerial Regional Meeting convened in Guinea-Bissau. Garba Natala reports.
After an engaging exchange, the 90th Ordinary Session of the ECOWAS Council of Ministers have concluded their report on the financial situation of the institution and the implementation of African Continental Free Trade Area, as well as determined the status of political developments in the republics of Mali, Burkina Faso and Guinea, among other issues, culminating from various obstacles hindering the economic viability of the West African sub-region and the Sahel.
Nobody will develop this region for us, and it is incumbent on all of us to work hard for the development of our region, and this is what ECOWAS is doing.
In a message by the chairperson, Guinea-Bissau's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Suzy Babuza, and Permanent Secretary of Nigeria's Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ibrahim Lamawa, expressed appreciation for the success recorded over the years and renewed vigor shown by member states to achieve ECOWAS goals. Other issues resolved include the memoranda on the ECOWAS single currency program and obstacles along the Abidjan-Lagos corridors.
The Council took another very important decision on having a regional strategy on road maintenance. This is a very important decision which will be able to address some of the bad roads within the regions.
In preparation for the 63rd Heads of State and Governments Summit, President Tinubu is expected to hold a meeting with 4 heads of state and government, ministers of foreign affairs, trade, and controller generals of customs from Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, Benin, and Togo on sub-regional issues. From Guinea-Bissau, I am Garba Muhammad Natala, NTA News.
And joining us to discuss further the outcome of the ECOWAS meeting in Guinea-Bissau is the Minister of Information and Communications of Sierra Leone, Mohamed Rahman Swari. Thanks for joining us, Minister.
Thank you very much.
Okay, the 90th Ministerial Regional Meeting has just ended in Guinea-Bissau. What would you say this conference has achieved as far as the African Continental Free Trade Agreement is concerned?
Well, so Africa is home to 1.3 billion people and is desirous of being a major player on the global market. So this meeting was geared towards discussing further removing barriers and ensuring that Africa is seen as a single market and every player is able to benefit from that large market, so that countries can specialize, countries can embark on areas that is competitively advantageous for them. So it was very good that a clear blueprint, a clear roadmap is now being laid to remove stumbling blocks and for countries to discover their own potentials and work on it.
All right, can you highlight some of these areas of trade that you think countries can actually leverage on in terms of doing business?
Well, Nigeria, for example, is a large market. Countries in West Africa could leverage the opportunities they have in their countries, while Nigeria will leverage their light manufacturing potentials. Already, China and other blocs are the places where many Africans trade. With Nigeria leveraging their light and medium scale manufacturing, it will reduce a lot of the importation charges, particularly, also evoking provisions in the ECOWAS trade agreement, free movement of goods, people and services across borders. So this is a very good opportunity for Africa to cash in.
Okay, the presidential election of your country, Sierra Leone, is over now. How is your government handling the outcome?
Also, His Excellency President Bill won the June 24th elections fairly and squarely on the first ballot, polling 56.17%, defeating his main challenger by about 15%. So he's already set to work. In the past couple of days, he has been receiving a flurry of delegations from across the country, ranging from the Interreligious Council, civil society organizations, trade unions, teachers organizations, flocking State House to congratulate him and to pledge their unrelenting support. to his leadership for the next 5 years. So he's set his eyes on addressing the key challenges. In his acceptance speech during his swearing-in ceremony, he stressed the need to reconcile the country, to blur the divisions, and he extended a hand of fellowship to his closest challenger, Dr. Kamara, and all other progressive party leaders to join him to confront the gigantic task of building our nation. So that is work in progress, because he's clearly itemized key things he wants to achieve in this tenure. He wants to be able to feed Sierra Leone. Today, we spend in excess of $250 million every year to import rice alone. His Excellency wants to be able to divert those resources to other uses, if we're able to feed ourselves. He also wants to be able to provide 500,000 jobs for young people, because he sees youth unemployment as a ticking time bomb and a national security threat. He wants to be able to professionalize the public service so that they will be able to more efficiently and effectively deliver public services to people of Sierra Leone. Of course, there are many other things he wishes to do in this second term, which is why he has prioritized national cohesion, national unity, which is part of his enduring vision to build a united, peaceful, and progressive Sierra Leone, which will work for every Sierra Leone.
All right, Minister, very quickly now, Nigeria played an important role in Sierra Leone winning a non-permanent seat in the UN Security Council. Can you elaborate on this and how does your government intend to engage with the new government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu?
Well, so Nigeria and Sierra Leone come a very long way. Many have argued that we are one people divided by artificial borders. We had Forabe College here. Many Nigerian frontline leaders back there attended Forabe College. During our civil war here, you had Nigerian troops here who sacrificed everything, including their lives, to ensure that peace returned to Sierra Leone. So, we have such a great relationship. Nigeria is always played a big brother role in our quest for a return to the UN Security Council after 52 years absence. Nigeria accompanied us every inch of the way. So for that, we are quite grateful, and to the sub-regional group ECOWAS, and indeed to the African Union and all other African countries, and the 188 other countries who overwhelmingly voted for our return to the Security Council after 52 years of absence. So we have such a great relationship with Nigeria. His Excellency President Julius Maadabu and His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu are both new presidents. So they have a clear agenda. They will work to bring prosperity to their two countries, will improve on our trade relations, our security cooperation, and in other areas of cooperation, traditional and new. But more important, we will have to ensure that we adopt a unified position to restore peace in other parts of West Africa. Like you mentioned, Ghana, you mentioned Burkina Faso, Guinea, and Mali.
All right, thank you. Sorry, we have to cut you short at this moment. Many thanks, the Minister of Information and Communications of Sierra Leone, Mohamed Rahman Swari, for your time.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, moving on now. The African Development Bank and other multilateral development institutions have released a set of principles to ensure climate financing aligns with the goals of the Paris Agreement. The MDBs are collaborating to help accelerate the successful transition to a low-carbon and climate-resilient future by supporting appropriate long-term development pathways in line with the goals of the Paris Agreement. In addition to the African Development Bank, the MDBs involved are the Asian Development Bank, Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, Council of the Europe Development Bank, European Bank for Reconstruction and Development, European Investment Bank, Inter-American Development Bank Group, Islamic Development Bank, New Development Bank, and the World Bank Group. The Paris alignment methodologies result from efforts at harmonizing and provide on how projects must be structured to comply with the Paris Climate Accords. You're watching the news on NTA International. We'll take a break now. The news continues shortly. Many thanks for being there. European Union High Representative Joseph Borrell has announced a direct budget support of €66 million to Niger and expressed the EU's determination to increase the total value of the support to the country. Joseph Borrell said this during an inauguration of Gurubanda Solar Station. Haman Jabani reports.
The solar power plant, built at around 20 billion CFA, stands as a testament to the collaborative effort of Agence Française de Développement, the European Union and Niger, spanning 27 hectares. The plant is the largest of its kind in Niger, and it is set to provide electricity to 70,000 subscribers. This translates to about 500,000 people in the city of Niamey benefiting from its production once it is integrated into the Niger Electricity Company network by the end of August 2023. The solar station aims at reducing Niger's reliance on electricity importation, particularly from Nigeria. European Union High Representative Joseph Borrell emphasized the importance of energy sovereignty for Niger and the need for the country to develop more solar energy, while revealing plans for the construction of another solar station in the future, highlighting the EU's commitment to support Niger's energy needs through renewable sources. He underlined EU's steadfast support for President Mohamed Bazoum's policies, including regional initiative, economic development and security measures, and to increase the total value of support for Niger. He mentioned the development of military partnership mission, EU-MPM, Niger, as well as ongoing budget support to address President Bazoum's core objectives, which focuses on education, and commended President Bazoum's regional policy, economic development initiatives and security strategies, emphasizing EU solidarity and support. President Bazoum expressed the project as a product of exemplary cooperation between Niger, AFD and the European Union. He expressed his appreciation for Joseph Borrell's presence as a symbol of robust friendship between the EU and Niger, and as a testament to the tangible and relevant cooperation that serves the people of both regions. Hamman Jabani, NTA News.
U.S. President Joe Biden has defended what analysts called his very difficult decision to give Ukraine cluster bombs, which have a record of killing civilians. Adebola Sunday reports.
Bombs are banned by more than 120 countries. However, analysts say the bomb have been used by both Russia and Ukraine during the war. President Joe Biden said it had taken him a while to be convinced to do it, but he had acted because the Ukrainians are running out of ammunition. Human rights groups and some Democrats have also spoken against the decision, while Moscow accused the U.S. of cynicism. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said officials recognize the cluster munitions create a risk of civilian harm from unexploded bombs.
Ukraine is committed to post-conflict demining efforts to mitigate any potential harm to civilians, and this will be necessary regardless of whether the United States provides these munitions or not, because of Russia's widespread use of cluster munitions.
The munitions have caused controversy over their dot rates of unexploded small bombs, which can linger on the ground for years and later on detonate indiscriminately. Adebola Sunday, NTA News.
And back in Nigeria, Farmers Association staged rally in support of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration. Musa Babali reports that the farmers have also appealed to the president to appoint a minister, someone who knows agriculture and the plight of farmers.
Government's social and economic policies and programs often play significant role in the development of agriculture the world over. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, during his inaugural speech, said his administration will improve on the country's agricultural output towards improving food security and poverty eradication. It is in the light of this that farmers' groups are appealing to the president to appoint as Minister of Agriculture someone who is conversant with agriculture.
Somebody who is an agriculturist, somebody who has an experience, somebody who is together with the farmers.
So we want at least some of us or one of us to be even appointed as a minister, because we know where it pinches us.
So I'm pleading to renew up administration, to carry the farmers alone.
The farmers also advocate a policy and programs that will address their concerns, such as availability of farming input, mechanization and funds to boost farming activities.
The only solution to these harder farmer clashes is to introduce modern farming, that is ranches, to stop moving around with cattle all over the nation. This will be the lasting solution for the harder farmers clash.
The same way we're expecting that the armed forces today will come with a strategy. How are they going to make sure the farmers-herders relationship will come down to a level where the farmers are free to go back to farm, and so we can be able to increase in terms of food productions.
Yes, when we met with him in Lagos, with some of our commodity presidents, there was a promise that is going to set up a national commodity board to put a policy, a control for the food industry, the commodity industry in Nigeria. And he's a man that keeps his promise.
There are more than 60 million registered small farmers in Nigeria, contributing largely to food production in the country. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Dr. Folashade Yemieson, has charged top management staff to map out strategies that will ensure that the OHCSF, being the originator of performance management system in the service, is enlisted as one of the quick implementers of the system service-wide. She gave this charge during a 3-day executive training capacity building for senior and top management staff and other stakeholders in Abuja. Harman Jabani reports.
The training is to carry out all staff along in the development of a strategic plan for the Office of the Head of the Civil Service of the Federation and to improve the workforce and professionalism at various levels. Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Folashade Yemieson, represented, says the office must be the focal point in setting standards for other MDAs, adding that the executive program will be the commencement of the implementation of the performance management system in the Office of the Head of the Civil Service. The training is to keep top management staff and other officers of the Office of the Head of the Civil Service abreast with global best practices in the adoption of PMS as a tested and trusted management tool.
That will also lead to the signing of performance contracts with authorities. So the performance secretary will sign with the head of service, the director will sign with the performance secretary, and it will go like that down the line. It's going to be the beginning of commencing performance planning in the Office of Head of Service.
To understand what is it, where are we, where do we want to be, and how do we get there? That is the strategic plan. And importantly, with the performance management system, officers will be monitored, they will be graded, and tasks are given.
The capacity building program dwells on an overview of the new performance management, understanding strategic planning and processes, as well as requirement for developing job descriptions and standard operating procedures, SOPs. Hamad Jabani, NTA News.
Nigerians must get to the level where sanitation becomes a daily affair and speedily translate into a healthy nation. This was the message of the flag off of the 2023 National Environmental Sanitation Day. Kuchigoro, a suburb of Abuja, Adebola Brixton Sunday was there.
Kuchigoro is one of the communities along the airport road. After paying homage to the head of the community, members of the Federal Ministry of Environment and some development partners sensitize residents on ways to promote sustainable waste management for a healthy environment. Village head of the community, Ibrahim Wambi, led others in a symbolic community sanitation where they appealed to the people to stop indiscriminate dumping of refuse.
And then the tools that they gave us, I will give you assurance that I will know how to handle the tools and then to maintain it so that we are able to work and make sure that everything is perfect.
Another area of sensitization is the need for behavioral change.
We really need to encourage waste segregation, because with waste segregation you have a lot of things that will now be converted into wealth. things that we now feel before that is waste, we can now convert it into wealth, and the youth will have things to do, and at least there will be some change or some money in their pocket.
We are looking for the community to take ownership, especially of waste management. Have a central place where every waste is done. Then we will, if you see communities moving towards change, you can now take it forward that by helping them to understand how to turn that waste into wealth.
Sanitation is a community affair. It's a local government affair. It should be driven at the local level. If you stop open dumping, if you stop open defecation at the local community, then we will not be having outbreaks of cholera and other wash-related diseases.
The ministry's campaign also touched on preventing pollution of water bodies, air and land for a sustainable ecosystem, as well as improved resource recovery to promote circular economy in waste management. Adebola Brookslyn Sunday, NTA News.
And up next is Sunday's weather forecast. Well, this is where we end the news on NTA International. Thanks for watching. I am Olajide Bello.